we're going to cover everything you need to know about Opploans Personal Loans so you can make an informed decision whether to use them for a major purchase or just cover a short-term financial emergency. The first thing you should know is that Opploans does not lend in every state. They lend in these 40 states. If you live in one of the states that isn't included here, you will need to find a different lender. Now let's get into the details. Let's start with how much you can borrow from Opploans. Opploans' minimum loan amount is $500. In Minnesota and Hawaii, their minimum is over $1,300. Opploans is a great place to go if you are looking for a small dollar short-term loan, but you want to avoid payday loans. Opploans is expensive, as we will see, but much better than some of the alternatives in the space. If you're looking for a more substantial amount of money, Opploans will lend up to $4,000. $4,000 is probably more than you want to borrow with this type of loan. It is also very possible that Opploans will only lend that top amount to their returning customers who have proven reliable. Opploans offers terms between 9 and 18 months, so they are clearly designed for short-term borrowing. If you're borrowing only $500 though, don't take 9 months to pay it off. You can save a lot of money on interest by being aggressive about making extra payments in the first few months of the loan, regardless of how much you're borrowing or how long the term is. Now let's look at Opploans' APRs. These loans should only be used for short-term borrowing and only for emergencies because they aren't cheap. Opploans' minimum APR is 160%. Opploans has two maximum APRs. In 40% of their states, their maximum APR is 160%. In the rest of their states, their maximum is 179%. Of course, APR stands for annual percentage rate. It is meant to give people an easy way to compare the cost of different loans. The problem is that APR starts to become counterintuitive when you're talking about short-term lending. Let me give you an example. If you borrow $500 from Opploans at 179% for 9 months, your intuition might tell you that you'll pay more than $500 in interest. After all, the APR is over 100%. But you would actually pay only $440 in interest. That's because the interest is calculated at the daily level based on the outstanding balance. That's why making extra principal payments when your balance is the highest at the beginning of your loan will save you so much money in the long run. Opploans is expensive, there's no question about that. And the reason for that has to do with who they lend to. They primarily lend to people with poor credit scores. I believe that most of their customers have credit scores between 550 and 620. People with poor credit don't have many options, so it's not uncommon for them to default on loans if they run into additional trouble. Of course, most borrowers pay back without any trouble, but Opploans writes off about 15% of the money that they lend out. They charge a higher APR to compensate for those losses. It's also important to point out that Opploans won't just use credit score to determine whether to approve you. They have their own algorithm that is based on a lot of different metrics like payment history, debt-to-income ratio, amount and type of income, information from alternative credit bureaus, bank transaction data, and other financial data. Opploans will not charge an origination fee on their loans. An origination fee is a fee that comes out of the proceeds of the loan and is a percentage of the borrowed amount. The fact that Opploans doesn't charge an origination fee means that the full cost of borrowing is wrapped up in their interest rate. If you are late on your payment, Opploans will not charge you a late fee. That's great, but they will continue to charge you interest on any late amount. Given how high their interest rates are, being late isn't free. If you struggle to get approved for the credit that you need, one thing that you can do is add a cosigner to your loan. A cosigner is someone who agrees to pay off the loan if you fail to. Unfortunately, Opploans will not accept cosigners. If you need a little extra help in getting approved, you might need to turn to another lender. One thing that can catch first-time borrowers off guard is the payment schedule for a personal loan from Opploans. Traditional credit products like credit cards and mortgages have monthly payments. You actually make payments to Opploans semi-monthly or bi-weekly. Essentially, they are just lining up your payments to come out of your bank on your paydays. When you see the loan agreement, you might think that it is more affordable than it is if you think the payment is monthly. Now let's do a deep dive into their application process. You can only apply to Opploans online. In order to apply, you will need to verify your Social Security number with either a Social Security card or an IRS-issued tax document, like a W-2. You will need to produce a current ID, like a driver's license, passport, or permanent resident card. You will need to show proof of income. Usually the easiest way to do that is with a pay stub. And you will need to authorize an automated bank verification. This is where they gain read-only access to your bank account. They will look at deposit sizes and frequency, average account balances, and your spending. Opploans strives to get you a decision on your application within 24 hours. It is possible that you could get an answer on the same day that you apply as well. If they need additional information from you, it could be 2 or 3 days before you'll get an answer. When you apply, they will only do a soft credit check. That will allow them to pull the information that they need to determine whether to lend you money. If you agree to take the loan, they will then do a hard credit check, which will show up on your credit report. After you accept the loan, you can have the funds directly deposited into your bank account the next business day. If you complete the process before noon Central Time, you could receive the funds on the same day. Opploans uses ACH processes to disperse funds and to receive payment. So what is a personal loan from Opploans good for? Their APRs are too high to use one of their loans for debt consolidation or for discretionary spending. You really would only want to use one of their loans for short-term, small-dollar emergencies. They would be a good alternative to payday loans. They could be a good source of funds to get you out of an unexpectedly bad financial month. This is especially true if you know you can pay the loan off quickly. I think you want to avoid holding an Opploans loan for more than a few months or certainly not years. The interest expense would just drain your resources. So let's summarize what we found about Opploans Personal Loans. The most important fact about personal loans from Opploans is that they are small dollar loans that should only be taken for a short period of time. They lend limited amounts of money and their interest rates are high. It is good that they don't charge origination fees or late fees. If you do have poor credit, it can be particularly challenging to know who will extend credit to you. Each lender will have its own algorithm for making lending decisions. You might be denied by one only to be approved by a better option. That's why it's so crucial to shop around. You owe it to yourself to seek out the best deal that you can get. At the Yukon project, we've tried to make shopping around easy. If you visit our marketplace page, you can apply to any one of our featured lenders, and behind the scenes, we'll check your rate with up to 40 other lenders. Our partners use a soft credit check, so applying won't hurt your credit score. We will show you all of the approved offers so you can pick the loan that's best for you. If you have any questions we didn't cover, leave a comment below and we'll try to get it answered. If you found this video useful, please like it and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.